Hello, Namaskar, Vanakkam. My name is T.S. Sudhir, and I hope all of you are doing very well, preparing for your ISC Class 12 board examinations, even Class 11 students. Now, on popular demand and a request from many students, I am doing this big video, jumbo video, talking about every form of directed writing questions with an example so that you know exactly what is to be done as far as this 15 marks question is concerned. Let me tell you that I have done videos in the past talking about the format of each one of these directed writing questions. So if you just go to the search bar on the Study with Sudhir YouTube channel, it's absolutely free. You will find each one of them: speech writing, cultural program writing, report writing, article writing. All of them, they are there in the playlist for English grammar, English language paper. There is also a proposal writing video which I had done a couple of years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. I have done one more recently also. So you can take a look at either one of them so that you know. In fact, I would suggest you take a look at the recent one so that you have an idea about how exactly to be done. And I have taken an example also so that it gives you more clarity. So this video is about different forms of directed writing. So let's get started. It's going to be a long video, but it will give you absolute clarity on how you need to approach. किस तरह का आपको बुक रिव्यू लिखना पड़ेगा, किस तरह का रिपोर्ट लिखना पड़ेगा, किस तरह का आर्टिकल लिखना पड़ेगा, किस तरह का स्टेटमेंट ऑफ पर्पस या पर्सनल प्रोफाइल लिखना पड़ेगा, उन सभी के बारे में we will talk as far as this video is concerned. And if you want to be part of the grammar part, if you want to be part of the grammar crash course, which is looking specifically at the 15 minutes, you still have some time, about less than 2-3 weeks to go for the class 12 board examinations of 2024. अभी भी time है, you can be part of the crash course so that आपका पूरा fine tune हो जाएगा. इसमें आपको 20 टेस्ट मिल जाएंगे, plus live classes, plus doubt solving, plus the extra questions that we are doing in those live classes. But if you want to take a look only at the 20 test papers, you can look at only at the 20 test papers separately. You don't need to be part of the grammar crash course. So the choice is entirely yours. Okay. I've also done videos on how to write the essays, etc. You can take a look at that also because that will help you fine tune your mind as far as the compositions are concerned. So let's now get started. Right. So now you are seeing this directed writing of 15 marks, and let's go through which are the different forms of directed writing that you need to engage with, that you could get as part of your question paper. And इसमें कोई choice नहीं रहेगी. So जो भी मिला उसको ही करना पड़ेगा. So it could either be an article writing, it could be a film review, it could be a book review, it could be the review of a cultural program, कोई dance, song, drama, etc. It could be speech writing. It could be report writing in a newspaper or a magazine. It could be a personal profile. It could be a statement of purpose. Report writing largely in newspapers. Okay. So, वो तो अपना इलाका है. So these 8 is what I'm going to talk about in this big video. Let's first start with report writing. What is report writing? इसको थोड़ा सा कम कर देता हूँ. Yeah, I hope you can still see. इसको थोड़ा. Yeah. Report writing is an account of an event or a series of events. कि कोई घटना अभी हुई है, उसके बारे में जानकारी देने की जरूरत है, और ये सारे के सारे 300 वर्ड में आपको लिखने पड़ेंगे. That's the word limit. Okay. 300 से 320, 325 तक चल सकता है, but try to kind of keep it as much close to this. It could be a football match. It could be a railway accident. Or it could be the inauguration of the Ram temple in Ayodhya, right? Any of this could be a newspaper report. So what you need to do is to focus on facts, factual details. इसमें आपकी opinion झाड़ने की जरूरत नहीं है. You don't need to put in your own opinion, but you need to focus on facts and arrange the facts in a logical manner. It is not your viewpoint, I repeat. Try to have short paragraphs, preferably 4, max 5 paragraphs. You need to know your reader because in the question you would be told whether it is for a newspaper or is it for any other kind of a publication. Third person account. This is the important. In journalism, we are always told, you need to focus on the 5 W's and the 1 H. Kahin kuch bhi hua ho, 5 W's and 1 H pe dhyan dene ki zarurat hai. You need to focus on that. What are the 5 W's? Who did this? What happened? When did it happen? Where did it happen? And why did it happen? And then you talk about how did it happen. So that's at the core of the news. Now, the order is important. You need to give a summary of the event. Ki kya hua hai? What is the event? The background, why, how, and why it happened. What is the situation right now? You need to talk about the response of the involved people, government ho, NGO ho. If it's a school event, talk about the school administration, everything, and then you conclude. Okay. The report, as I said, 4 paragraphs, preferably it can go max to 5 if you're using some quotes, etc. Right? Now, look at the example question that I have taken. A train accident has taken place. You are a reporter for a newspaper. Write a newspaper report. Simple. इसमें ज़्यादा details नहीं दिए गए हैं. In some questions, you could be given the details. You could be given the details about the name of the train. In that case, you weave that in. Okay, the name of the train, where it happened, how many people killed, how did the government react. So you will be given the bullet points on what all facts you need to include in your newspaper report. So let's get started and see. इसमें आपको headline देने की जरूरत है. न्यूज़पेपर में हेडलाइन तो होता है ना, तो आपको हेडलाइन देने की जरूरत है. Tragedy strikes as trains collide near Vijayawada, 12 dead. इस तरह के आपके न्यूज़पेपर, any newspaper you pick up today's newspaper, see how the headlines are given. They are short headlines, but which will kind of give, even with the headline, the reader should be able to get an idea about what has really transpired. Okay. Now, in some cases, you can put your name by whatever. Let's say Sushmita Gupta. Okay, you can either put your name, or in the case of a newspaper report, this is much more safe. By a staff reporter. आपने किसी भी newspaper में देखा होगा, by a correspondent, by a staff reporter लिखते हैं, तो ये आप लिख सकते हैं, कोई problem नहीं है. Now, this is the important part. आपको जगह का नाम देना पड़ेगा, comma, then you write the month name, and then you write the date. Okay, and then you put a colon. This is how newspaper date lines are given. This is called the date line, the name of the place and the date of the place. Okay. Now, how you start? Read this carefully. In a shocking incident, the Gomti Express collided with the Chennai-bound Tamil Nadu Express near Vijayawada in the early hours of Tuesday, right? So it means it has happened very early in the morning. 12 passengers were killed and over 40 were injured. They have been admitted to the Vijayawada General Hospital. Simple facts. Aapne, agar kisi ne sirf has read only this much also, he will have an idea about what has happened. Then you give more details for those who are interested in knowing more about the train accident. The accident occurred at approximately 4 a.m., early hours of Tuesday, when both the trains were inadvertently, which means by mistake. Okay, this means by mistake, put on the same line or put on the same track, reportedly due to signaling error at Mangalgiri railway station. Now, this is a railway station which is close to Vijayawada. Reportedly, because ये खबर है, ये confirm बात नहीं है. आपने शायद किसी ऑफिशियल ने आपको बताया होगा कि हमें लगता है कि सिग्नलिंग एरर हुआ है, तो दैट्स व्हाई यू आर नॉट स्टेटिंग इट एज अ फैक्ट. रिपोर्टेडली मींस समवन हैज टोल्ड दिस टू यू, सो रिपोर्टेडली ड्यू टू. एलिजेडली नहीं बोलेंगे, एलिजेडली होता है जबकि कोई इल्जाम लगे, व्हेन समवन इज मेकिंग एन एलिगेशन. हियर इट विल बी रिपोर्टेडली because you're writing a report also. Despite attempts to apply the emergency brake, the Gomti Express crashed against the stationery, which means that it was at that one place, Tamil Nadu Express, causing several carriages to overturn. Eyewitnesses, so somebody has seen the accident happening, recounted deafening noise as the train's wheels screeched against the tracks, followed by the heart-wrenching sight of overturned compartments. So now in this you have given a description of what has happened and why it happened. And then now, in order to make it sound even more realistic and give more details. You are a reporter. You have gone and spoken to, like, I mean, on television and before that on print, we would go and talk to the people on camera, or you get the original sound because they are the eyewitnesses. We were sleeping. Suddenly we heard the train shake and come to a sudden halt. The compartment plunged into darkness. पूरा अंधेरा हो गया था कि जो रात की लाइट्स होती हैं वो भी ऑफ हो गई. And we struggled to get out of the overturned and mangled coach. Mangled मतलब जब दो trains का clash हुआ होगा, so this entire thing will go for a toss, said Rishabh Shukla, who was in the B2 compartment of Gomti Express. So now you have quoted one passenger who has told you what really happened at 4 o'clock in the morning, right? It gives you credibility to the report. रीडर को पता चलता है कि ये रिपोर्टर वहां स्पॉट पे जाके रिपोर्टिंग करके आया है, तो इस पर विश्वास किया जा सकता है. दैट्स ऑल व्हाट इज क्रेडिबिलिटी ऑफ ए जर्नलिस्ट. ओके, इमरजेंसी सर्विसेज इंक्लूडिंग पैरामेडिक्स, यानी कि जो डॉक्टर्स को हेल्प करने के लिए होते हैं. डॉक्टर्स का भी आप मेंशन कर सकते हैं. फायर फाइटर्स, बिकॉज आग लग सकती है एंड यू हैव टू एक्सट्रैक्ट ऑल दोस पैसेंजर्स, तो उसमें ग्रिल्स वगैरह को तोड़ने की, निकालने की जरूरत पड़ सकती है, उसमें भी फायर फाइटिंग पीपल के काम आएंगे. एंड द स्टेट डिजास्टर रिस्पॉन्स फोर्स, SDRF. NDRF इज द नेशनल डिजास्टर. ये सब आपको 11th एंड 12th क्लास में जानकारी होनी चाहिए. NDRF, इसको SDRF बोलते हैं. हर स्टेट में एक SDRF होता है. रश टू द स्पॉट टू अंडरटेक रेस्क्यू एंड रिलीफ मेजर्स or operations. Prime Minister Narendra Modi spoke to the Railways Minister Ashwini Vaishnav. Now here you could add Mr. and Mr. but many newspapers का आजकल Mr. Mrs. वगैरह को they have disposed of them. सीधा designation and name के साथ चला जाता है. And instructed him to monitor the rescue operations on the spot. So he has told Ashwini Vaishnav, who is an IAS officer of the 1994 batch turned minister, that you go to the spot near Vijayawada and monitor operations, rescue operations on the spot. Okay. An amount of 5 lakh rupees was announced for the next of kin of the disease, कि जो मर गया उनको ex gratia मिलेगा. The Railways has promised to take care. यहाँ पर ex gratia, यहाँ पर आप ex gratia भी mention कर सकते हैं. Ex gratia यानी कि मरने के बाद. Has promised to take care of the medical treatment of the injured. So the Railways will bear all the costs. It has also put out a list of 10 other trains which have been diverted following the accident. Because अगर उस track पे accident हुआ तो उस track पे और नहीं जा सकते हैं. So it has said either trains have been cancelled or diverted, which were supposed to be on that track. A high-level probe has been ordered and the Commissioner of Rail Safety will submit his report in 2 weeks. Preliminary report suggests that the technical malfunction may have led to this catastrophic event, which is like very tragic event. This is the second, now you're giving more information. This is the second such accident in South Central Railway in 4 months. यानी कि 4 महीने पहले भी इसी तरह की एक घटना हुई थी, इसी तरह की एक दुर्घटना हुई थी, right? So you see how much of information I have packed into this report. It has an eyewitness account, it has the reasons why it may have happened, it has the rescue and relief operations ka details, it has the ex gratia ka details, it gives the background that, you know, something like this happened 4 months back also in South Central Railway also. What will happen after this, that is the Commissioner of Rail Safety will submit his report within 2 weeks. So all the, you know, you have covered every angle of the story. This is what will get you a 15 on 15. चाहिए 15 on 15 तो इस तरह का रिपोर्ट लिखो. Okay, let's go to article writing now. Now you may think, what is the difference between article writing and newspaper writing? Article is intended for publication in a newspaper, magazine or or a journal. Report is usually for the newspaper, और आजकल तो वेबसाइट के लिए भी होता है, because websites are quite a lot these days. It can include anecdotes, it can include stories. It is more feature-ish in its the way it is structured. It is more feature-ish. It can be a combination of formal and informal depending on whether it is for a magazine or a newspaper. Like if you're writing for a magazine, let's say for India Today or Outlook magazine, where I used to write, so you have a slightly soft feature-ish kind of an intro. You start with an anecdote, right? And that's how you make it more interesting, more appealing to the reader. A magazine story will never be the same like a newspaper report. A newspaper report will be very direct and factual. Magazine mein you can give a bit of a color or a mood kind of a thing. For example, this Ayodhya thing which is happening. Now, you don't necessarily need to start with Prime Minister Narendra Modi did the Pran Pratishtha of the Ramlalla temple in Ayodhya. No, you could start with, the moment had arrived, helicopters of the Indian Air Force flew over the Ram temple in Ayodhya, showering rose petals on the crowd, on the VVIP crowd that had assembled. So you're giving a kind of a mood, and then you get into that. So you establish the mood. That's what happens in an article, not necessarily the article kind of articles that you would be writing here, but I'm giving you a broad idea about the difference between an article and a newspaper report. So if both article and newspaper report are published in a newspaper, what is the difference? Because article can be published, let's say, in the Sunday magazine section of the newspaper. Article is written in a less formal style than a report. Newspaper report is often an immediate event like a theft, murder, political development, or a sports victory. Article describes event, an experience, a place, or a person. It could be a profile of somebody, right? Karpuri Thakur has been awarded the Bharat Ratna. Who is Karpuri Thakur? What did he do? What was his contribution to Indian politics and Indian polity in general? So you can talk to some people, get some nice color anecdotes from something in his life, and start the article like that. A magazine article can be more in-depth, provide more information and nuance. It can be more, detailed in the kind of information that it provides. It can also, to an extent, contain opinion. It's important to know your reader, your target, कि आप कौन सी publication के लिए लिख रहे हैं. Your name, what name the question has mentioned. Okay, अगर नाम दिया है तो नाम दीजिए. It can be by so and so, or if the question says that you write it as so and so, right? Ramesh Rao. So you write it like that. So intro should clearly define the topic and ensure the reader stays interested. Should be clearly linked to the point. You could start with a data point or an amazing fact or a quotation. Main body of 2 to 5 paragraphs to detail the topic, including problems and causes, and conclusion to summarize and give a final opinion. Now, what are the common mistakes that students make in article writing? They just mention the same points which are given in the question without amplifying them. They exceed the word limit of 300 words. They write generic stuff instead of sticking to the points which are mentioned in the question. So let's look at this question. Write an article to be published in a local newspaper expressing your concern at the lack of separate cycling tracks on roads in Indian cities. कि Indian roads में buses के लिए है, car के लिए जगह है, bike के लिए जगह है, cyclists के लिए तो जगह ही नहीं है, right? So you're writing a report कि why is it so necessary to have a cycling track on most prominent roads in the city so that cycling can be encouraged as a way of transportation, as a way of life. So look at this. So this will be the points which will be given to you in the question. That ये सब points को आपको include करना है in your writing, in your article. So title will be Cycle on the Right Track in India. You can write like that. 5 to 6, 7 words तक चल सकता है. You write your name, or unless they have put some name in the question. Now you read the article. The absence of dedicated cycling tracks on roads in Indian cities is a glaring deficiency in urban planning. Now you see the difference between how you started the newspaper report and how you are starting an article of this kind. Look at the language, the refinement of the language. This lack of infrastructure for cyclists poses a significant concern both for cyclist safety and environmental sustainability. That means cycling, if you karenge, it's non-polluting, so it's good for the environment. It will ensure that you're able to sustain the fragile environment. Cycling cannot be seen as merely a recreational activity. Yes, sir. It's not just a fun activity. It's an eco-friendly mode of transportation that promotes a healthy lifestyle. It also does not burn a hole in the pocket of the consumer. Zyada kharcha bhi nahi hota, petrol ka kharcha nahi hai. However, with the lack of dedicated lanes for cyclists, they are forced to navigate through congested traffic, risking their life and limb. Now, it can say, endangering themselves, or not endangering, nahi, putting themselves at risk, but this is a more stylish way of writing, right? कि उनको खतरा है, उनकी जान को खतरा है, या उनके हाथ पैर accident may, it can get kind of adversely affected. The absence of separate cycling tracks, apart from jeopardizing the well-being of cyclists, also hampers the mission to reduce carbon emissions and traffic congestion. Traffic bhi zyada hota hai car mein, and carbon emissions. Encouraging cycling can significantly contribute to the reduction of air pollution and promote a green environment. By providing cyclists with their own lanes, we can encourage more individuals to choose this sustainable mode of transportation and give an international picture. Obviously, in a topic like this, you can talk about other cities like Holland, Netherlands, Denmark, Finland, etc. Cycling is a way of life. Several European cities have shown the way by making cycling to work or for leisure a trendy activity. It's fashionable. Okay. Besides, it will make the Indian heart stay healthy. Okay, and last longer if their heart is in cycling as a way of life. So I'm trying to kind of play around with words. कि cycling में मेरा दिल है तो मेरा दिल भी अच्छा रहेगा. Urban planners should work closely with government agencies to modify and retrofit existing roads with cycling lanes and incorporate them into future urban development plans and projects. At the same time, public awareness campaigns should be launched to promote the benefits of cycling. The government authorities should look at ways to incentivize, that is, you kind of give them tax incentives who opt for a bicycle instead of a car, that is, tax kam kar do, as a mode of transport over fuel guzzling SUVs and other polluting vehicles. Finally, such an initiative will truly help in making Indian cities green in more ways than one. These cycling tracks can be fitted with solar panels. That has been done in Hyderabad, I can tell you. पूरे cycling track जो कि यहाँ पर in the IT corridor में है, ऊपर solar panel लगे हुए हैं. So you are able to kind of ensure that you are harnessing solar energy while also providing for a cycling track below. Okay, so that is something which you can do to harness solar power, and that will make it a win-win situation. So it is an interesting kind of a conclusion. समझ में आया? This is how you need to write an article. Newspaper report हो गया, article भी हो गया. अब चलते हैं reviews के ऊपर. This is your opinion about the book along with important information. It is an assessment and your critical response. It has to be an informed review with relevant information. It is to help other potential readers in case they want to buy the book, to help it. Because वो पढ़ेंगे book review, अगर आपने लिखा है कि अच्छी किताब है या बुरी किताब है, उसके बेसिस पे they will decide कि हमको ये किताब खरीदनी चाहिए या नहीं खरीदनी चाहिए. The first paragraph should give the information about the book, and that what information, कि book का नाम क्या है, author का नाम क्या है, बुक का थीम क्या है, which genre it is about, whether horror या spy thriller या detective या romantic या comedy या mythology, whatever. If it's a historical book, mention कि कौन से time period की है. The body should include a summary of the plot. अगर novel के बारे में लिख रहे हो तो summary दे दो, but उसमें ये मत बताओ कि murder किसने किया था, है ना, मारेगा रीडर. ओके, तो ये मत बताना कि मर्डर कैसे किया था या कैसे सॉल्व किया था. डोंट गिव दोस काइंड ऑफ स्पॉयलर्स अवे. You can talk about the style of writing. You can mention shortcomings ki first part अच्छा था, second part थोड़ा जल्दी हो गया, it was slightly underwhelming, the ending was rather predictable. You can write that kind of thing. You could mention the author's other works की बाकी किताबें जो लिखी हैं. You can make a comparison to that. If it is a biography, write whether the life of the person, let's say it's a biography of, let me get you a couple of books, show you a couple of books so that you will have an idea. Okay, so now if you are, let's say this is the biography of N.T. Ramarao, the political biography of N.T. Ramarao, who was Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh and of course a big actor before that. So this kind of a biography, that can be one kind of book. Another biography, this one was a biography of the Prime Minister by Nilanjan Mukhopadhyay, who is a journalist. Now, this is another kind of biography. So you can talk about whether these books have done justice to the personality of N.T. Ramarao or the personality of Narendra Modi. You can kind of analyze it because he's still in present day politics. N.T. Ramarao, He passed away more than 25 years ago in 1996, January 18. But you can talk about, his politics and whether the book does justice to that. So that's another way. If you are reading a book, a more policy-oriented book like South versus North, which talks about how South contributes much more to the GDP of the country than North, but does not get much in return. And this entirely has a lot of data about the health indices, the economic data, etc. So you can talk about whether, and this is a very good book, about how the book kind of deals with a complex topic like this. If you're talking about biographies, again, now this is my book, the biography of Saina Nehwal, 10 years ago, 2012, 12 years ago. Now, a book like this, which is a sports biography, not a political biography. Now, whether this contains a lot of anecdotes about her life, about her coach's life, about branding in sports in general, talking also a comparison with Sania Mirza and other badminton players. So whether it is doing justice to something like that. So it can be about a book like this. Those are the kind of books. And this is the book on which I have written a question out here. This is Sita. In fact, this is I got this, my friend presented this book to me 11 years ago. I read it. I reread it now in the context of the Ayodhya temple. It's a very fascinating kind of book. And Devdutt Patnaik is one of my favorite authors. Now, so the details can also include the price of the book and the name of the publisher. Now, how do you get that? Now, for instance, this North versus South versus North book, you have to say that it is published by Juggernaut Books, and this is 599 rupees is the price, so that you get an idea. Now, while writing a book review, choose a book that you have actually read. Now, I wrote the book review of Sita because I have read this book not once but twice. So it kind of, you are able to give more factual details. अगर आप किसी गाइड में से सीधा निकाल के डाल देंगे तो कभी भी वो ठीक नहीं रहेगा. It will help you get points which are original instead of being taken from a guidebook. You focus on the idea that runs through the book, and you can refer to dialogues or scenes from the book. Your review should help the reader choose whether he wants to buy the book at all. So you help the reader make an informed choice. So that is something which you need to bear in mind. Write a review of a book which you have read recently, titled Sita. Now you read how I have written it. Sita, written by celebrated author Devdutt Patnaik. So you're giving the title, you're giving the name of the author, is a magnificent. So what is it? It's a retelling of the Ramayana. It's rare to find a book that is a page turner, because Ramayana kind of story, everyone knows. All of us know the story. But despite that, you are able to, now if you see this book, it has a lot of these kind of details in boxes. Now in boxes में क्या डाला है? Like main story है वाल्मीकि या तुलसीदास की रामायण, लेकिन how it is written in different parts of India, tribal Ramayana, South Indian, Dravidian Ramayana, Aryan Ramayana. So you get different versions, Cambodia Ramayana, right? So you get different versions, which makes it very, very interesting. Patnaik is actually a medical doctor by education, but he's also one of the foremost mythologists and writer of books on Indian mythology, with several books to his credit. This is a 318-page book. It is published by Penguin Books, and it costs 499 rupees. So you're given all the details. Now you see the rest of it. I would leave you to read this. The central idea, what is the central idea? Why is it an engaging read? And you see the kind of language that I have used, weaves in several unknown stories about Sita that can really mesmerize you. They are interpretations of the same tale in different versions of the Ramayana in our country, and even include interesting nuggets from tribal telling of the Ramayana. Adivasi Ramayana is very different from Valmiki's or Tulsidas Ramayana, right? Ramcharitmanas. The author weaves a compelling narrative that not only entertains, but also offers profound insights into different tales. Each word brings the persona of Sita, right? So you're talking about the different thing, and now here you're giving more details about kya kya hai wahan pe. Is kitab mein kya kya hai. Sita also brings to the fore a woman's perspective. Now you're making it relevant to the India of today, that there is a woman's perspective. Otherwise, you generally have, he has also written Ram. Okay, so you generally get it from Ram's perspective, or let's say Ravan's perspective. Sita ka perspective is slightly different from Ram's perspective. That is what this book really deals with, right? How a woman ought to be treated. And this is very important in today's day and age. The language is eloquent, the printing quality is easy, and this is the best part. So many illustrations which are there in the book. You see the illustrations which are there in the book, they make it even more interesting. Even the cover that way is very interesting. It's a must read for anyone who is interested in Indian mythology. This is how you write a book review, right? Film review. It is similar to a book review. The difference being that you need to highlight, in addition to the storytelling, the audio-visual element and its impact. Because book to kitab hai, lekin film mein you need to talk about कि camera work कैसा था, music कैसा था, okay, all those things you need to talk about. Acting कैसी थी, direction कैसा था, screenplay कैसा था, everything, right? And you can also give stars out of 5. Okay, you need to look at this. Please read this, take a screenshot so that this will help you. Write a review. So इसमें मैंने जाने जान का review लिखा. This I had actually written a few weeks ago. जाने जान, which is a movie I saw on Netflix. Theater में तो जाते नहीं आजकल. Now you see, I'm not going to read it out. My throat starts aching if I read it out. So you just see what has been written. You can take a screenshot if you want to read it later on. It is an adaptation of a Japanese movie, right? What kind of genre it is? It's a suspense thriller. Then you give very basic details about the plot. Ki plot actual hota kya hai, right? So you need to talk in brief about the plot. Then you need to talk about कि किसने बनाई, प्रोड्यूसर कौन है, बालाजी मोशन पिक्चर्स, नेटफ्लिक्स पे आई थी, डायरेक्टर ये है, इसकी पहली फिल्म जो उसके लिए काफी फेमस है, दैट वाज कहानी, विद्या बालन वाली. इसमें कौन कौन एक्टर्स हैं, करीना कपूर, जयदीप अलावत, विजय वर्मा. इसकी सेटिंग कहाँ है, कालिम्पोंग में. म्यूजिक किसका है, सचिन जिगर का. ये बेसिक डिटेल्स आपने दे दिए. देन आप कहानी के बारे में और डिटेल्स में बताते हैं. And then you talk about the movie belongs to the director and Jaideep Alawat. That's what the story is about. ये कितनी लंबी है, इसका ड्यूरेशन कितना है, इट्स एन, और इसका कंपैरिजन किसके साथ किया जाएगा. इट विल बी कंपेयर्ड टू दृश्यम, जो कि एक मलयालम मूवी थी मोहनलाल की, जीतू जोसेफ की, रीमेड इन हिंदी, तमिल, तेलुगु, एटसेट्रा, राइट. But this is what it is happening. I would go with 3 out of 5 stars. So that is what the film review will talk about. Cultural review पे आते हैं. This will include songs, dance, drama, short skits, etc. This should include the date, the venue. Chief guest अगर आया था तो chief guest के बारे में बताइए, right? उन्होंने क्या कहा, बाकी features. इसमें किसी की बुराई नहीं करनी, अच्छा ही लिखना है, अच्छा ही लिखना है. Okay, only positives. So you are the chief editor and generally it would be in your school magazine kind of thing. उस तरह के topics आ सकते हैं. So title लिखना है, which is the annual cultural day. ये टाइटल करके लिखने की जरूरत नहीं है, वो मैंने सिर्फ इसलिए मैंने पहले ब्रैकेट में डाला था. ओके, तो एनुअल कल्चरल डे at Bolton Public School in Bengaluru was conducted on 10 January 2024. The event turned out to be a mesmerizing spectacle and left students कि this thing कि क्या हुआ. Then theme was diverse India, कि किस तरह का थीम था और उसमें क्या क्या पेश किया गया. ओके, students of class 9 and 10. Then music के प्रोग्राम काफी हुए. ओके, just read, go through all that, take a screenshot and just go through all that. That they were singing classical melodies and also contemporary beats, जिसको कि ट्रेन किया गया था म्यूजिक फैकल्टी. They felt very happy. Then the dramatic performances were a highlight. And एक शो स्टीलर था, काफी स्पूफ किया on the teachers of the school, जिसमें कि so that people felt very amused and entertained. And the tech club, what they did was the icing on the cake, because they took care of the stage design, the multimedia and the lighting, and that left everyone very impressed. And the chief guest was C.V. Rangarajan, Commissioner of Bengaluru Police. He was full of praise and he complimented the team. He also distributed the prizes. What did he do? He kind of stressed on the need for empathy. एक line लिखने की जरूरत है. He gave away the prizes, and this is what you need to write. The annual Cultural Day program was a resounding success, and this is how you conclude it. That's all. Okay. Let's now move to personal profile. It's a description. पर्सनल प्रोफाइल और स्टेटमेंट ऑफ पर्पस में प्लीज डोंट गेट कंफ्यूज्ड, दोनों का पर्पस अलग रहता है. पर्सनल प्रोफाइल इज अबाउट यू, स्टेटमेंट ऑफ पर्पस इज आल्सो अबाउट यू, बट पर्सनल प्रोफाइल इज मच मोर अबाउट यू. इट डिटेल्स द पर्सनल कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स ऑफ एन इंडिविजुअल. इट टेल्स द अदर पर्सन जिसको कि आप दे रहे हैं कि तुम किस तरह के व्यक्ति हो. Who asks for it? Colleges पूछते हैं एडमिशन के टाइम पे. They ask for academic achievements and personal experiences. Student हो सकता है कराटे एक्सपेरिमेंट, like for instance Teju, when she secured admission, one of the things they asked was for the personal profile key, because they were looking for a 360 degree kind of a person. So टेक्निकल टेस्ट पास हो गया, एप्टीट्यूड टेस्ट पास हो गया, इंटरव्यू भी क्लियर कर दिया, लेकिन उसके बाद फोर्थ थिंग दे आस्क इज फॉर अ पर्सनल प्रोफाइल एंड प्रूफ ऑफ व्हाट यू हैव डन अपार्ट फ्रॉम एकेडमिक्स. ओके, पढ़ाई वो सब हमने क्लियर कर दिया, सेलेक्ट हो गए, लेकिन वी आर लुकिंग, अगर इफ देर आर 10 कैंडिडेट्स एंड वी आर लुकिंग ओनली फॉर 6 seats, okay, there are only 6 seats, on what basis do we select those 6 seats? So we don't want nerds, we don't want people who are all the time into academics. We want a 360 degree, people who may have taken part in dramatics, in different other kind of extracurricular activities. So Teju is a black belt in karate. That helped. She can play the piano. She has gone till some grade, I forget which grade, at the London College, Trinity College in London. So that she has done, that course she has done. So that kind of gives a view that, okay, this person has done something outside of academics also. So if you are into dramatics, into public speaking, which is why I always say, soft skills are what will take you ahead in life. टेक्निकल स्किल्स सबके 19-20 का फर्क रहता है, लेकिन सॉफ्ट स्किल्स, इफ यू आर अ गुड पब्लिक स्पीकर, इफ यू हैव डन अदर थिंग्स, दैट रियली हेल्प यू outshine others in the race. Okay, so a karate exponent or into classical music, or have worked for some NGO, drug rehabilitation पे किसी NGO के साथ आपने 1 महीने का internship किया हो, those kind of things. So such relevant information will tell the people that you are a 360 degree this thing. Only positive information. ये नहीं कहना कि मैं इस चीज में अच्छा नहीं हूँ. You don't need to say that. Not more than 300 words. It can include hobbies, aspiration, future plans, academic achievements, personal interest, everything. Okay, you are a student of class 12. You need to submit a personal profile on why you should be selected as the head boy or the head girl. So now you are writing like this. I'm writing to express my interest in the position of head boy for the upcoming academic year. As a dedicated and motivated student of class 12, I believe that my unique blend of academic achievements, leadership skills, and commitment to the values of the school make me an ideal candidate for this important role. Okay. इनफैक्ट ये मैंने बहुत पहले लिखा था ये. I found this in my mail. As part of this institution for the past 6 years, I have consistently demonstrated a strong work ethic. इस तरह के words का इस्तेमाल प्लीज कीजिए. These are important words. Passion for learning. They reflect my commitment. ये सारे words लिखिए. Demonstrated. These are the kind of words which you should use in personal profile. Ability to manage time efficiently. It's a skill which is crucial for fulfilling the responsibilities of actually the head boy, not the head boy, the head boy. Beyond the classroom, I've actively participated. So ये हो गया. Beyond the classroom क्या किया आपने? Extra including sports. इससे मेरे leadership skills develop हुए. I've been the badminton champion. I've been part of an NGO called Shikhar, which works in the field of increasing the green lung space in our city. I've been part of the student council, और उससे ये हुआ कि मेरे को effective communication और problem solving, teamwork और decision making में काफी मदद मिली. Those kind of skills were honed. I can communicate with people. I'm very approachable. So you need to kind of basically क्या करना है आपको? You need to pitch yourself that I am so good, so I deserve this. That's what you need to do in a personal profile. So that's what you're saying कि if I'm chosen as a head boy, what will I do? Going forward, I intend to enhance, keep these are my future plans, especially since I've already established that I'm the badminton champion. I want to focus more on sports as far as our school is concerned, and I will do it with integrity. That's another word that you should definitely use. Enthusiasm and dedication. Speech writing पे आते हैं. स्पीच राइटिंग आप में से कई लोगों ने दिए होंगे स्पीच स्कूल में. यहां पर आई की जरूरत है. आई, you need to speak in first person. Relevant information, factual details, and it should be like, each and every person in the audience should feel कि ये बंदा मुझसे बात कर रहा है. That's very important. I have done videos on public speaking in the thing. That of course is not required since it's only talking about writing it, but that can be of interest to any one of you if you want to be in public speaking, which is a very important skill, I believe. It's a very, very important skill. I can't emphasize it enough. Do not try to confuse the audience. Use examples. काफी फायदा होता है. Okay, and a forceful conclusion. ये पढ़ो, ये मजा आएगा. You have been asked to deliver a speech on the importance of sports and education in the school assembly. तो आपका venue है, आप स्कूल असेंबली में वो स्पीच दे रहे हैं. So you have to make it relevant. Your examples can be from the school itself, because that's why I said know your target audience. Your target audience are your principal, your teachers, and your classmates and other fellow students. Respected principal, teachers, and dear friends, this is important. This part is important. If anyone believes education is all about books and studies, he has not. And you imagine that you are actually delivering that speech while you're writing it. Okay, so it has to have that sense of a Bahubali kind of a larger than life kind of an address, right? He has not understood the true meaning of education. Not all learning is sourced from the books or is imparted inside a classroom. A sports field is a world outside the world of books, enabling us to widen our horizons. And now you see the next line. We are right now standing next to our playground, the school playground, which I think is our classroom outside our classroom, because that's where we become physically literate. यहाँ पर हम academically literate होते हैं, वहां पर हम physically literate होते हैं. So you see, you have been able to get the thing, you're relating it to the school ground, because every student and the faculty will know about the school ground. You have been able to hook them on by giving an example of something inside the school itself. Knowing your audience matters. Many of us pursue a particular sport. It could be football or badminton or cricket. You would agree that playing is sport. Now you see, a lot of you and I will be there, should be there, must be there in your speech, because you are talking, interacting. Don't write it like an essay. There has to be a you and I. You would agree that playing a sport is a great way to bond with fellow students and develop good interpersonal skills. I am sure it will also help us later in life, as a team game teaches us how to deal with different kinds of people. Our leadership skills get honed and we learn the importance of team spirit. So you see, I, we, you, lots of them. I should not miss adding the endorphins. You can say it with a smile. I mean, I'm imagining, okay. We are lucky that our school promotes sports. So you say things, our school promotes sports. The sports field is where victory and defeat teaches us humility. So you're saying that, hey, this is not the only classroom. That's also our classroom. And we are very lucky that our school actually promotes sports, and every school should do it. That's what your speech is all about. So you need to talk about the benefits of including sports in education in school. We city kids, and you say, we city kids have another problem. And I'm sure many a doctor would have told you this, So you see, you're making it conversational. Log soarenge nahi. They will think, oh, he's talking to me. I should listen to what he's saying, right? That's because, talk about vitamin D and all that. So you see, you're including factual details, but in a very conversational style. That's what you need to include. Okay. I'm sure long after we pass out, our experience of representing our schools in tournaments will be forever etched in our memory. Finally, I believe making sports an integral part of the education curriculum will go a long way in ensuring the holistic development of a child. Thank you. Ye bandhu, ye bhi important hai. Thank you. मेरे को सबसे मजा है स्पीच राइटिंग लिखने में आया, because that's something which I relate to. Statement of purpose. Now, this is a personal statement about a person, his interests, his future plans, the influences, and this is something which was written for, of course, I have put my own name, I have removed the student's name. This was written for a student who has, in fact, now is in the US. Statement of purpose, which was written for that student when he was applying for a course in a college in the USA. Okay, so it's an actual statement of purpose, SOP. It's a statement of facts, but also gives an idea with the help. In fact, there are many people who write SOP for a fee. I mean, I have friends who do that, and they write very well. An idea about the person's persona. It's usually written for an admission to a course or applying for a job. It's to make a direct pitch to the selection committee, on how you stand out. SOP should convince the selector that you're genuinely interested. Write a statement of purpose for admission into a prestigious foreign university for studying artificial intelligence somewhere in the USA. So I have changed my names and put it myself. And this was for someone at the postgraduate level actually, but you will get it at your class 12 level. So I've written it like that. I've changed a few things. A student of class 12 at Bharati Vidya Bhavan in Hyderabad, ever since I got introduced. Just go through it, take a screenshot, go through it. Today, as I stand at the juncture of advancing my education, I'm drawn to the transformative field of artificial intelligence. And since you will be using AI after that, आपने यहाँ पर bracket में डाल दिया. It is with this fervor and a request for knowledge that I enthusiastically submit my application for admission. In the last 2 years, मैंने क्या किया है? You know, that student had done something with a startup in the field of healthcare, so we included that, right? This includes a predictive analytics tool to monitor heart rate, which is adopted by a health startup last year. It was actually operationalized by that health startup. These experiences have helped me hone my technical skills. Also, they told me about how AI has the power to affect positive change. And then you talk about why Columbia University. Why are you so keen and determined to get a seat at Columbia University? Because it has done pioneering work in artificial intelligence. It encourages innovation. So your language also has to be slightly bombastic, good vocabulary. So take care of these kind of words which I've used, interdisciplinary research, engage in, forefront, prospect of learning. These kind of words you need to learn and use in your statement of purpose. Beyond academics, I'm kind of, also the New York community, where it is located, and a multicultural environment. And I'm confident that Columbia University will be the crucible. This is an interesting word to use. And the transformative power of this thing, propelling me to future of impactful contributions to the field. So it has to be slightly good. And I do hope you can do justice to this, because of all the ones, in fact, Maharashtra class 12 के students को मैं बोलता हूँ statement of purpose मत लिखो, because सबसे ज्यादा मुश्किल है. I do hope you don't get a statement of purpose. Okay. इसमें title की जरूरत नहीं है. Please remember that. I'm earnestly looking forward to the prospect of becoming a valued member of the university community. Community is again an important word. And finally, you write the name at the end. Okay, I hope this was clear. It provided you with clarity on how you need to take care of the statement of purpose, personal profile, speech, report, article, film review, book review, and review of a cultural program. So I hope isse aapko madad mili, and I hope you will be doing very well. As I said, there are old videos about the format in detail, also on proposal writing, essay writing, and of course we have that entire course on the grammar part of the English language paper, right? Thank you very much for watching. God bless you.